Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Gary Stebbins with Promess Incorporated, and we're here in Chicago at the Assembly Expo show. We're here demonstrating our technologies, introducing new products to our customers, as well as talking to our visitors to the booth to see what kind of technologies they're looking for in their applications and how Promess can apply what we have to help them resolve their issues, meet their challenges, improve their quality, and whatever else challenges that they're faced with. Right now I'm standing in front of our REMAP display. The REMAP stands for Rotating Electromechanical Assembly Press. This was a product we designed for applications where they were pressing in transmission seals. And they were using a hydraulic press along with some other rotating technology. And they were pressing the seals into the transmission housing, but they were unsuccessful in some occurrences where once the seal was in, they 5,000 miles after the car was running, the transmissions would start to leak. So they did a Pareto analysis of the rejects, found that the seals were cracking, and then resulted in a leak. So we worked with them to develop a process that basically allowed them to insert the seal while rotating it into the transmission case housing. By doing that, it put less stress on the seal as it was being installed, and ultimately ended up reducing the amount of leakers that they had. So we took their reject rate from, actually it was warranty rate, from about 10 or 12%, roughly, but that's what we were told, basically down to zero. So we looked at it as a product that we could apply to other types of tech applications to our customers. And over the last, I think maybe 7 or 8 years, where we seem to focus on is where you need to apply a load and then measure torque, whether it's a breakaway torque or a full running torque, whatever it may be, but while it's under load in the application. So basically, we run from 1 kilonewton, 20 newton meters of torque, up to 60 kilonewtons of force and 100 newton meters of torque in terms of the product range that we have. And the way the system's configured, it runs, this is the linear actuator, and this is the rotational actuation, and both of them are co-joined in one spindle assembly. So there's a rotating spindle and there's a linear press spindle that is the primary method for doing the operation. Both axes of motion are controlled using a multi-axis control system that Promess utilizes. It's called our Ultra Pro controller. You can operate both axes in sync with each other, independent of each other, one and not the other, or vice versa. And do this all while collecting data on both axes of motion. And for us, the data is force over position or position over force, and then you're able to take the information that is gathered, the data that's collected, and do the analysis of, are you putting the amount right of torque on it? Are you the amount right of force that's being applied? And is it meeting the customer's requirements for breakaway of the devices that are being assembled? The systems themselves, it's the way that the technology has been blended together to be able to provide the rotational axis for the spindle, and this, without getting into a whole lot of technical stuff that I don't know anything about, it's basically a spindle inside a spindle, and one moves linearly and the other leaves rotationally. Most applications this is used for, a lot of diff assembly, diff case assembly, seal insertion. In the seating industry, for automotive seating, there's recliner mechanisms where we basically are applying a force to assemble the two parts of the mechanism, and while we're assembling them, we're rotating them to make sure that the amount of torque being applied allows the seat recliner to still maneuver. So those are some of the kind of the basic applications where it's utilized at. Any place where you want to have control and repeatability in your processes for rotation and force, REMAP is the solution for those types of applications that we bring to the marketplace.